The Unscrewed Mind.
Welcome to the Unscrewed Mind, episode 46. And we're going to be talking about self-perception today and how it is the key to so many of you guys' problems, and was for sure a problem that I had to overcome and everyone has to overcome to get to the place where they really want to be. Wouldn't you say, Matt, that that's a accurate statement?
I agree. How I perceive myself holds me back or it props me up. So I think sometimes it can be a good thing, but a lot of times it's a bad thing. So understanding that it's there, knowing how to counteract it and overcome it is a key to success for a lot of people.
Right. And it's just like, are you just in all situations, your perception of yourself and the perception of the situation are tied in so closely, and people don't realize that there's a programming or a makeup that has been built over years, and they're sitting there looking at a situation, reacting to the situation the exact same that they have for years and years and years, getting a result that they don't like and wondering why that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Why is something outside of me not changing? For me, it's been difficult to really agree wholeheartedly with that all the time, because you just want certain situations for it to be the opposite of that. You want it to be like, this is the one thing that stands out and has nothing to do with me and has everything to do with the outside circumstance. I just, the other night, I texted Matt, and I knew that this is what we were going to be talking about this week, because it just, I don't know. I just felt overwhelmed by the feeling about it, because it was like a breakthrough for me in the fact of, I've read this, I've heard this, I've seen it hundreds of times, and it just really doesn't click. Some things don't click until they click. And I don't know, it's just a constant evolution of my understanding of things. And everyone that's out there on this journey to improve themselves, to become better, to do something they've never done before, you just have to take it all in and slowly and enjoy the path that you're on, because you're going to learn stuff that you thought you already learned several years ago, and it's going to blow your mind. I mean, it blows my mind. I think that Matt is a lot of the same on that, but you definitely don't get as excited as I do about simple things like that.
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. I'm not moved quite as often. I'm locked in my head a little bit more. You're freer than I am for some reason.
Daydreaming it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I told you before we started recording that I went down a rabbit hole this morning reading about self-perception and, some psychology websites and some other stuff. And I'm not a professional. I encourage everyone to do their own research, but I think it's important to,
Which may be a good thing in this
yes.
situation.
Yeah.
The fact that you're not a professional means that you're able to objectively look at it. And anyway, keep going.
To make my own opinion, which is important,
Right.
Not to follow the opinions of others or, subscribe to groupthink, because I don't want to be seen as some sort of crackpot that is counterculture. But I mean, that's a digression. So
That's your perception, but yeah.
that's my perception of a digression. So self-perception is the perception of self, right? We'll just flip that word around, but it's how we see ourselves and image we hold about ourselves and our traits and all the judgments we make about those traits. So you go one layer deeper, and self-perception is made up of two other selves. Self-concept, which is our overall knowledge of who we are. And I would insert here that a lot of people probably don't know who they are. They just have thoughts about it, or they've never sat down and really asked themselves the question, who am I? The other part of self is self-esteem, which is our perception of our value. So based on who I am, what's the value of that? and that value is assigned by outside sources a lot of the times, which can lower your self-perception because maybe you don't think you have as much value as the environment needs. So from there, self-esteem has two selves associated with it. So we have self-efficacy, which is your confidence in yourself. And then we have self-respect, which is your belief that everything else that makes up you is worthy of and deserving of happiness, achievement, and love. So there's a lot of layers there, but self-perception is made up of a lot of things. And when I was thinking about self-perception and I was reading all of this, the word that kept coming back to me, and we've talked about this a lot, is the word paradigm, which is basically what locks you in place and keeps you from moving forward. And I think your self-perception, your self-concept, your self-esteem, all of these things are it's something that's built over time, and it's something that is built by people outside of you a lot of times. And it can take years to form. When you decide you don't want to be that person anymore, or you want to change your self-perception, you've got some work to do. And I think that your self-perception, one thing I thought this morning is your self-perception lies probably in your subconscious mind, which directs your conscious thought and takes you in directions maybe you would like to stop going but can't, and you don't understand why. So getting to work on your self-perception is one of the most important things you can do, because it's going to help you in all these other areas, make you feel better about yourself, and then help you move in the right direction. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of information, but we can unpackage that. We can talk about it. You can tell me your thoughts or what stuck out for you from all that.
yeah. I think that brought up some great points about it, and not only that, but I think that there's a instant thing for everyone that's listening to do. Just take out a sheet of paper and describe yourself. Write
Mm-hmm.
down who yourself is, and this is kind of like don't lie to yourself. Write it down 2 different times, because that first time through, you're gonna be a lot easier on yourself than you are on the second round through, because the ego is coming in and saying, "Oh, you're good. You're doing this. You're doing that." Excuses galore for the things that you're not doing that you actually do want to do, and that's part of the programming that's in you. So you have to really pay attention to what you want, who you want to be, how you want to be that person, and the things that you want to be doing and the people that you want to be around. And you have to start removing those things from your life immediately for a different result than what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And the self-esteem, so many people are just constantly breaking themselves down, but having a outside that makes them look strong, but they're really not. They could,
Mm-hmm.
the smallest stone could throw them off of their path forever.
Right.
And so just know that everyone out there, no matter if it is the the best person in their field, has always got questions, same kind of questions that you've got about things, and don't let anybody fool you into thinking that it's different than that.
On self-esteem, I had something written down because this was a really interesting formula, and I think it makes you think a little bit. So under self-esteem, a guy named William James came up with a formula, and self-esteem is the ratio of a person's success to that of their expectations. So the higher the success or the lower the expectations, the greater the self-esteem. I think that's really fascinating. If you go into a situation with zero expectations and something great happens, then you're going to feel really good about yourself. If you go into a situation with really high expectations and it doesn't meet that, you're going to feel like a failure. So I wonder, like, what's better, to have high expectations and never hit them, or to have low expectations and always exceed them. And then the other thing I was thinking too is that, don't you think society has made it a point to lower everyone's expectations so that they feel good about themselves while not achieving too much and everything stays status quo? Is that too deep a thought for a Saturday
No,
afternoon?
that is the only thing that's going on. I mean, seriously, it's crazy. It's like we're trying to build a box that is encompasses everyone inside of it, and everyone else should be accepting to everything that's in that box, no matter what. And it's like that's against cultural, that's against everything that we've learned as a society early on, and it's against what you really feel from inside, because you want to be friends with people that are similar to you. You want to do things with people that have the same kind of interest as you. And it's fine to be that way. And other people can do the things that they want to do with people that they want to be around. And it's like everyone's being forced to think certain ways. And, a lot of people's self esteem is being controlled by, well, I don't like that, or I don't want to do that. So I'm a bad person because I don't fall in line with that. And it's just like when a movie comes out, or a new vehicle, video game,
Netflix
computer,
show.
yeah, whatever it is, and they're just running advertisement on it nonstop. And let's say that it carries a big name. It's like one of the biggest, uh, you know, franchises that are out there. If that movie is absolutely horrible, or that vehicle, or that computer, then it's going to be a lot worse overall for that brand than if the expectation wasn't so high to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then how many times have you seen a movie or seen a vehicle, or whatever it is out there, and you had no expectations about it, and then you're like, oh wow, that's really nice, you know, or it was a really good movie. And so I see how that plays in directly to what you were talking about there, and how our society just keeps everything stacked.
Mm-hmm.
We always have something stacked and loaded. There's no peace. If you look at any kind of television show, any kind of news media outlet, there's like no peaceful stories. Nobody's talking about, you know, this family had a wonderful vacation and everything was great. I mean,
Right.
because people want to read about things that are worse than what's going on in their life. So, and they just feed off of the negativity of it too, because it's a chain reaction. So if you've got 20 negative things going on, and it goes from negative to negative to negative, well, then your self perception starts to get mixed into that, and you don't know why you're so unhappy, why you're stressed out, and then you're going to a doctor saying that you're stressed out because of something that's not even actually happening in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I would bet that 70% of people that are stressed out about stuff that has nothing to do with their personal life. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I get it.
Like I
I get
mean, I
it.
get the stuff. Maybe it's 50%. If you're worried about paying for something or doing something like that, but then you add on a stress about something that you wouldn't even know existed if you didn't turn on the television or turn on your phone and go to a website and listen to that website. And it's just, I don't know, turning it off is a very good thing to do, and a good way to improve your self esteem as well, because our society tells you what a good person is too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whether it's the way that the person looks or the way the person acts, whatever it is, they've got a specific script that they say that you should follow, and if you fall outside of those lines, then you are not as good a person as the next.
So that leads into
Or
something
is
else
that just my perception?
I mean, if it's your perception, then it's 100% correct. We know that. The Unscrewed Mind.